defended her actions, calling it her duty and moral obligation. Oh, please. And she later told the Washington Post, "I consider myself a law-abiding citizen. I consider myself a believer in an American democracy that moves towards a more just society. And I definitely consider myself part of the resistance." At least she's honest. Resistance to common sense, maybe. Well, in doing this, Mayor Schaaf is dancing right on the edge of obstruction of justice for shamelessly putting agents, police, and her neighbors in danger. I really hope that Attorney General Jeff Sessions is taking a serious look at this. Here's the bottom line. Because the Oakland mayor put politics and, frankly, her sheer hatred of the president ahead of the rule of law, innocent Californians, and legal immigrants, by the way, might die, be terribly harmed. And I know Oakland is a liberal place, fine, that's fine. But how does making life easier for criminal aliens, including MS-13 gangbangers, how does that help your community? It's disgraceful. And that's the angle. Joining us now for reaction is Bay Area radio talk show host Ethan Bierman, who's in LA tonight. All right, Ethan, that's your neck of the woods up there in the San Francisco area. Talk radio's hot up there. We have 864 criminal aliens now on the loose who've been either ordered deported, didn't show up for their deportation hearings, or are convicted criminals, also illegal immigrants, who were released back into the system. ICE wants to get them out of the country to keep the people of the Bay Area safe. How does this mayor, in good conscience, warn them to escape? And why is that good?
Well, she didn't specifically warn them, those who have been convicted of certain crimes. And remember, California, even under our sanctuary state laws, it's called SB 54, our law enforcement is supposed to work with ICE and federal immigration authorities when you're convicted of a violent felony, for example. So it's not like we're just like, yay, violent felons hang around California. That's not the case at all. What it is we have a couple of million people who are members of our community, and in the city of Oakland specifically, Mayor Schaaf, those are members of the community. Her job is to protect and care for her community. So these are members of our community who have maybe married an American citizen, have children who are American citizens because they were born here.
Okay, well, Ethan, that's all great.
And we don't want those families split it up.
Yay, that's great. However, there's something called federal immigration law. And we are not allowed as American citizens to pick and choose which federal laws that we abide by, if we don't like them, that's fine, then figure out a way to elect more officials in Washington that change the laws. But the laws on the books now say that if you are a criminal alien, you are subject to immediate deportation in the United States once released. California has made it put out the welcome mat for individuals in the country illegally who commit crimes. Maybe it's multiple DUIs, people die in those crimes. Maybe it's a simple narcotics trafficking charge. Maybe it's stealing. Maybe it's domestic abuse. Those are the types of people who were swept up in this raid. And now we have the people who are still at large, by the way. One of the targets in Oakland include a Honduran citizen who was previously arrested in San Francisco multiple times for cocaine possession and transport, probation violations, and sex with a minor under the age of 16. But he's nowhere to be found now. We don't think that's a problem?
Yeah, of course, somebody who has committed a pedophilic act like that should, of course, be put in proper prison or deported. But that's one example. That's an anecdote. By the way, I'm a loud advocate on my show against driving under the influence. 10,000 people die a year.
That's not a problem in LA, though, right? LA or San Francisco, illegal immigrants driving drunk. That's a huge problem. And the DUIs and
American citizens driving drunk. Growing up in Minnesota,
we're full up of them. We don't need any more driving drunk. You're absolutely right, Ethan, and I salute you for doing that on your show. But we have enough problems. We don't need to import new problems into the United States, not until we get every homeless person and homeless vet off the streets. It's ridiculous. Of course we have Americans who do that.
And by the way, we've worked very hard in the Bay Area on getting... We have worked very hard to get homeless vets off the street. Actually, the Bay Area has made tremendous progress getting homeless vets off the street.
I've been to this Presidio lately. It doesn't look like a lot of progress there. It's like a homelessness epidemic in San Francisco.
Laura, you talk about the rule of law. The rule of law is the conservatives brought the case to the Supreme Court in 1997, Prince v. United States, a majority opinion written by Justice Scalia, supported by Chief Justice Rehnquist, that talks about commandeering. The federal government cannot commandeer local resources to do their job. So ICE has to do their job. We don't have to cooperate.
Hey, then if you guys think it works out well for you to have these criminal aliens, gangbangers, people transporting weapons, domestic abusers released into the system to get a warning from the mayor in Oakland, flee the scene, come back later when ICE is gone. If you all think that's going to work out great for you, I guess God bless you. I hope it works out. But the second they cross another state's boundaries, guess what? Those states are going to work with ICE, and we're going to get them out of the country. But I just don't see how this is good for tourism, good for the state. Just because people want some cheap agricultural and hospitality workers, I don't see how that's good for you. But Ethan, it's great to have. Go ahead, you can close out.
Oh, I was just going to say, so 874 out of about 2 million people, I agree with you. Criminals we want to take care of. Criminals need to serve their time. Criminals need to be held accountable for their actions. You and I don't disagree with that. It's maybe how we go about it. Look, you and I both want safer streets, Laura. I agree with that. But we also want to take care of our community and the families in it.
Yeah, well, the first obligation of any elected official is to the American citizen. The community is a euphemism. It's the community of American citizens and people who are legal immigrants who paid the dues and went the right way for our system, in my view. But it's great to have you on, Ethan. Thank you very much. And I'm going to tune into your show. And we saw the epic failure of deputies